horrible clown in a horror house.
I actually had somebody message me, and I won't try and say the words because the pronunciation will likely be wrong. But the way that theme park is said in Portuguese, the second word is very similar to the word for traumatic as well. So they switch it out and they call it like trauma park, traumatic park.
I mean, I get it. It's either good, it can be good trauma, I guess, but the experience of going on roller coasters can be pretty bad.
So yeah, I think a little play on words that they have on that side of things already. So it's just, it's doubled down and proved that for them today, hasn't it? But we're going to have Ying Dokabe Azame coming in as our band. Skyscraper will be our first map here.
I love it.
The choice of Lost One.
I love it. Love it. Coming into this kind of map as the start of a series is a real exciting one for me. It's my favourite map to cast on as well. For these two teams, you've already seen in the intro, in the pre-game, just how much energy is behind them as well. Both really excited, all gassing each other up as well. I know Australis have the little dance with Iconic in the centre, Lost One more about all the hands in the middle and cheering together. But they're gassed up for this. They know that the loser goes home, so you guys at home should be as well. We start things off with Australis defending Karaoke and T.
Immediately, the footholes being opened up, it just allows, obviously, attention to be paid from right across on the other side. So from T, you can watch what's going on inside of Karaoke without giving too much away. There's going to be positions taken up inside of Geisha as well. I'd expect, we'll see, I was going to say for the external wall to be reinforced, but it hasn't been as of yet. We'll see. I wouldn't have thought that will survive to the end of the round. It would be a free walk-in pretty much for the attackers of Lost One, if that was the case. There we go. Don't panic me like that, Australis. Two of them went in, didn't reinforce it, went back out. I was a little bit concerned. But as far as defensive setups goes, everybody has their own individual tasks. So things like that happen when they happen.
Unsurprisingly, you are going to see this extension out towards the east side, even with Bandit batteries being committed here as well, alongside a mirror window. Okay. Quite like this as a whole. It's very, very light, mind you, but it's hard to assault into it as well. They've got the electrified wall behind the mirror, so it can't easily be taken out. If a player is going to shoot out the mirror window, really, they need to come and challenge inside of terrace first, which is not going to be an easy task because you have support from Drum on the defensive side. So I'm liking this starting setup from Australis. Not committing too much out there, but enough that it could really cause Lost One some issues.
It could do. Maya is going to be getting the wall open to the top of main stairs there straight away. So a good start. We're going to have Rise opening up the wall into Geisha. 45 seconds into the round and two important breaches have been completed. So that's a strong start for Lost One here. They're certainly not messing about. They're wanting to get in there quickly. Obviously the position behind Small Bar is being held down for the time being by Australis, but there's a couple of drones going in there and I think they're going to start feeling pressure and probably have to dip back towards Drum fairly quickly.
Sure, I mean, if Forest can hold this down for even, a minute and still dip away in safety, then fantastic. As of yet, not feeling any pressure coming through. For Lost One, they don't want it all just going through display. We've seen some teams really try and force display as an entry point into the map, and they've just been absolutely slaughtered on the way through. Drones still being used and chewed through here. 4 down so far as another EE1D comes out. Lobe down to just one left in pocket, and as of yet, Lost One haven't broken this east side hold. Iconic in the middle, though, loses out to Maya. I like the setup, but you've got to win your gunfights if you're going to hold it down.
Forest is going to be, as I said, dipping back to Drum, but he's going to be just keeping hold of that position as long as possible. But like you said, the gunfights are going to be the key factors here, Des. As Rise looks to move in, I'm not sure if he's aware of the mirror. No, Forest nice and easy. Rise not pre-firing around that corner, and he might just rue that fact as it brings us back to a 4v4. Maya manages to get one. Dots in on the action as well.
Jesus, Maya.
Lost along the way. Maya heard what you said, Des, and does not want to be looked at as a bottom-rated player in this thing.
I mean, top rated here, 3-0 in the first round, charging through that north side of the map and making it all happen for Lost One. Plants going down, and Forest, a player that I've bigged up to no end this week. Incredible entry stats, incredible plant stats throughout the year in NAL, changing roles and still shining, but can do nothing as Maya closes a 4K. That's him right there, in case you're wondering. The second on camera, celebrating off because he knows that's the way you make an entry into a series.
What a start!
Jesus.
Coming out of Lost One.
Admire, mate. Forget the rest of them.
Yeah, very true.
Okay.
To be fair, Astralis weren't a million miles behind on that one. It was a 1v2, diffuser down. It's really not the end of the world. This isn't a map choice. Not a terrible start from them. They're going to need to get, I think, at least 2 or 3 on the defence here, realistically, and that could honestly prove to be a problem. I've just got a little feeling about this game, and I could be proved wrong as we go, but I've just got a feeling that both of these teams might actually take their own map choices reasonably convincingly, and we'll end up on a border showdown. But we've seen Lost One play very well on border, so I'm not sure how well that will favour Astralis. But we're only 1 round in. There's a lot of work to be done yet.
Whew, okay, good start. Again, I will not knock Astralis to that first round defense. I think actually it's a really cool defense that I don't recall seeing on this map before. I think once they saw Iconic lose out in Dragon, and that kind of removed any north side support coming in for the Mirror, that's where Forest had to back away towards Drum. But we've seen more and more teams doing this, especially where teams are slow, and Lost One aren't really a slow team, but Astralis, you can see, are trying to force the point. They have to kind of jump over several hurdles before they can think about executing. So you manage to clear Iconic off Dragon, then you've got to try and clear the Mirror, for example, down towards the south. Then you've got to clear Shrine, you've got to clear through Drum, and then you can start thinking about the site. It just puts up a lot of roadblocks, a lot of problems for the attacking team to solve. Obviously, a solution to those problems is Maya walks through and kills 4 players, and that is going to happen sometimes. But I wouldn't be looking at that setup as bad. I think actually it was really clever and one that I'd love to see again in a couple of rounds' time.
Dots is on the rappel of Karaoke. Just going to dump the drones in. Lost One going for the information. He's taken the throw up onto the top. I didn't know if he was maybe going to leave it up there. You can just leave him sort of perched on the top. It'll get you a lot of information. Dots going to just pepper through the wall at the minute, but the man has moved. He's just trying to see if he can find anything. It's not the end of the world. Ammunition isn't always the greatest commodity in Siege. There is usually a good bit of it to go around. I can only think of a couple of occasions where we've had players actually physically run out.
Like earlier today. I think it was on Cafe in G2's game.
Yeah. Where a player will completely run out of it and it causes them a problem as well.
Yeah.
So taking a pot shot at a soft wall here and there, certainly not the end of the world.
It's less so the pot shot as well, but more opening up the angle through. So if the player that was sat inside of T does try to back away, they're going straight into an exposed angle. Now, Dots has got inside, and one thing worth stressing is although Jane I know was playing inside of T, he can't commit there too hard. They've got no reinforcements on this side of the map. There's a shield here they can play behind and fall back from. But again, Astralis are doing a similar thing. They're forcing problem solving out of Lost One. They've managed to chew through 1 minute and 45 of this round, and Lost One are still trying to force their way in from the west side here with only 60 seconds to play. A couple of them out towards the east are ready to hit the site, but they need to see Dots and whoever else it is on this west side of the map moving across that little bit quicker. Yeah,
very little progress from them in real terms when you start looking at, how are they going to get that diffuser down. Spiff's going to take a good chunk of damage there, but he continues fighting and will give up his life ultimately.
There they are.
And Dots managed to come in, 45 seconds left to go, and that time just became a lot less of a concern as Lost One now find themselves in a 5 versus 3. They can actually take a second here, swap diffusers over and start moving across. They do need to concern themselves with Iconic below, as there could be some vertical denial.
They've had to go on the north side because the mirror window inside of Terror is facing out onto it. It's something they can't assault. They don't really have the gadgetry like Smokes to push their way through. There's only really the Ace that can help out with that as well. But what do you need when Lobin's popping off with a 3k in the round? Clearly he said to Maya, I see that 4k on the Ace. Give me that operator. I'm getting 3 for myself. Iconic rope wrapping around below here trying to see what he can do. But can he win even out 1v1 here? He can get the 1, but cannot get the next. Dash with the close down. Lost One, and Ace in particular, are flying.
I feel like there's a little bit of a mistake from Astralis there. Iconic on the Solis runs into Geisha, and the wall was reinforced. He didn't expect it.
If you're gonna layer back, just fall all the way back and just play no bastards. I'm gonna be frankly sold the shit on Jack and Smith right there. Like, there was no hope, no float help whatsoever. So like these next few rounds right here, just float wherever the front is and fight these guys. Okay, alright. That's it. Alright, gotcha. Start opening up through our side.
Alright, let's do this shit. You just want to stand by it then? Or do roll call?
What do you guys walk up with?
Yeah, I mean, we could do the kitchen blender. What do you? Yeah, let's do the kitchen blender. Yeah.
So general commentary I heard coming out there was around a floating player to assist really out on their own, because what Lost One have found 2 rounds in a row there is the ability to isolate Iconic, get him put in the dirt, and then also isolate the second Roma player and have them picked off as well. So it sounds to me like the call coming out there, or at least the feedback being given by the coach, it was very short and clipped feedback as well. Obviously, we only heard a few words amongst it as well, is let's get a third player out there supporting on the float a little bit here and make sure we've got a numbers advantage when trying to contest Lost One early.
The only thing that I took away was Kitchen Blender.
Kitchen Blender.
I really want to see what that looks like. I'm looking forward to this defence. We are going to go to Kitchen and Barbecue. We'll see exactly what that entails. But yeah, just to touch on the point at the end there, I'm not sure whether Iconic went in specifically looking for the hatch into Geisha, but it felt like that was a secondary. He was hoping for the challenge through Drum, through the wall, and then maybe drop underneath and got there. Drum was reinforced, and maybe just you know, a little bit of confusion within the team there. And obviously there's a lot going on within a round. Somebody may make a call and say, I'm going to reinforce off this wall. You know, and if that's not part of your game, you might not be involved enough to actually pick up on it, and it looked like that was the case.
All right, Spiff here looking to get a little bit cheeky straight on the window. We'll, of course, get that instant notification. Throw back to the previous days when you had a good few seconds outside before you really got flagged. You could get away with absolute murder. It's a little bit harder these days, which is why straight back in that window, back in towards safety, and Lost One with nothing really to worry themselves about.
Right, it's going to be opening up a Geisha wall and then looking to pressure sight window maybe. No, he's going to... No, he can't really make his mind.
He's baiting you, Tim. He's baiting
me. He's not. He was just cautious of sight window, which is fair enough. He's going to be sending a drone in. I think his pressure is going to come through Geisha. They want that verticality. He's just going to see that wall opened up as well. Forest does manage to find Lobin. Takes a lot of damage along the way, but a good start from Astralis.
Absolutely. Getting rid of Lobin, who's been a real nightmare in these first couple of rounds alongside Myra, I think is really crucial. Dots finds one back onto the other side, mind you, and now they're looking to work their way through. In they come. Karaoke and T somewhat in their control here, and this is a bit of a concern because for Astralis, let's not forget, they are on the downstairs site, and Dash is just roping his way through here, finds one, still has the EE1D in back pocket as well. If they want to try and find another, Forest catch him rise on the fadeaway. Really can't get much done in this game. 0 and 3 across these first 3 rounds, but still got Dash and Dots trying to hunt down anyone else on this top floor.
Forest is being hunted, will be found, but he's managed to go prone. You could be forgiven for thinking that he'd gone down but not out there, but he hasn't. And yet this is it. Dots knows there's nowhere for the Capcan to go, but he doesn't want to overcommit himself. He's got the laser gate in front of him, making it difficult. Iconic is going to be taken out. There's a world where it's a 2v1, but no. Shuttle manages to support Forest and gets the kill onto Dots, but effectively, Forest has been down. It's a 1v1 now, Des.
They've got the E1D as well. They've got time here. We'll finish off that final kill. The problem is, does he know where the last player is? Does he know that he's waiting for him on the main stairs here? Drone comes out. If that gets shot out, they'll know exactly what's going on. There we go. Information provided. Good bit of discipline as Shuttle's going to leg it towards sight. And look at the chase being given. Dash didn't want to let him get away. He wants to flash that Dosh here and finish him off for round 3. Can't yet find him, but does he want to try and make a plant here, Tim? He's still got 40 seconds to play within the 1 versus 1.
There's an awful lot of time for him to play with, and he could try to manipulate a situation. He doesn't have any E1D scans available.
Oh, no!
But he manages to find the long angle. Shuttle just exposes himself there inside a kitchen and gets shut down. And that's a big round for Lost One. That's the closest the Astralis have come, and this is starting to run away from them quickly.
The real pain there is Shuttle had the first shot. He was ready to go, and I look back at their game earlier, he won a 1 versus 4 to keep Astralis in this, to take them ahead of Sonics on Theme Park and ultimately help them win the very last round to close things out. Across the competition, he is -53, 66 kills to 119 deaths, and in that kind of situation, it just shows that you cannot be affording to be, you know, that much of an underperformer. That should be a 1v1 that most players in this tournament will be able to win. You had the first shot, he had to flick against you, you were the defender in that situation. This should really be 2-1 to Lost One, not 3-0.
It should.
It
should. I think Lost One, you know, they're going to count themselves a little bit lucky in that last round, but, you know, they got the job done. Astralis...
Ouch. I mean... Again, not to really double down on the poor guy, but even out of all the teams that have been, even out of all the teams that have been knocked out, Shuttle is the lowest rated player that has played in this competition so far.
Yes.
That's how painful it is. And I'm not saying, you know, low rated, that's why he lost the 1 versus 1. Players can flick it on, flick it off, as we saw him do in the game earlier on, but again, this is the knockout game, boys. You cannot be affording to slip up in that kind of spot.
You've got to take every chance you get because you're not going to get many of them. J9O looking to get a great... Oh, J9O! Just poor timing there, unfortunate for him. Didn't want to overcommit to that, and that's absolutely fine. The last thing they want is the Soulless losing the life so soon, but there would have been an opportunity. Now then, Lobin stacking up ready here. E1D goes. He's not going to pull the trigger just yet. That was not the signal that he was waiting for. Lobin doesn't actually have diffuser in hand either. That does have it, and not everything going according to plan here for Lost One.
Second one should come out as well here to help them keep this one done. There we go. Second EMP comes through. Wall is open. This surely is where Lobin goes. In he goes. He relishes in the chaos, but there's no one to be found as they've already backed away. Good few movements coming out. Finds one. Is he aware about top black though, as two have come pushing up behind them? If he gets a couple of kills there, that can be all his team need to get a plant down.
He's definitely aware. He's taking the pre-fire, but Iconic comes in with a big headshot, and that's exactly what Astralis needed to keep them in this round. Spiff, he's going to be down to half health. J9O's on a flank here. I'm not sure whether Lost One are aware of his position or not, and it could be a big problem, but Rise manages to take down Iconic. 3 versus 2 now. Big denial from J9O underneath.
This is the problem. They've really got to try and find somewhere to plant. The J9O can't haunt them from below. Playing on the Soulless, we've seen it all week long. Just really easy disruption from below when that plant starts coming down. The only downside here is that Spiff is largely alone unless J9O wants to come and join him. They know where Spiff is. They know the sites are clear. That could be the go sign to say, right, plant's got to go down. Here comes Maya.
Rice moves around, gets his freebie from behind. 2 versus 1, it's looking good for Lost One here. Plant will be confirmed. Maya with the final kill. Great game on Skyscraper from Maya so far. Doing it all, killing, planting, closing out rounds. And that's going to be Lost One going 4-0. And this is looking so similar to that second map that we saw for SSG.
Oh dear, oh dear. I mean, part of it, the reason why I'm not as frustrated with Astralis as I was, say, SSG, bless their heart and soul, is that we're seeing at least attempts coming out, right? I actually think their strategical setups there, where they're playing, is quite smart. The way they had like a bunch of players that fell back and then pushed up black together playing for trades there was good. They even got the kill onto Lobin. They brought it down to a 3 versus 3. But playing in those all things equal situation, they just conceded far too much control over to the side of Lost One, leaning too hard into towards the Soulless, and we saw what happened there. Just getting picked off for free as soon as Rise chose to push his way down the stairs, who I will raise, but by the way, 0-3 so far into the game. Had a really good bit of flank watch on the go there to find one on drum and then push down for the Soulless. Those 2 kills for me is what basically won that round. I know we had Lobin getting in and getting the entry, but Rise doing an awful lot for his team there, playing off towards the side.
Round 5 then. Astralis desperately need to find themselves around. The best they can hope for is a 4-2 half, but you just don't feel like even that looks likely at the minute. 10 seconds in and the setup will just be completed there, as we've got a shuttle reinforcing off the Geisha wall. Gonna hit the bandit battery on there and try and prevent that one from being open. But Lost One so far. The thing is, as you say, Astralis I think have been more competitive, you know, than we saw from SSG. I would agree with that, but no matter what they try, Lost One have got the answer at the minute.
They do. And really it feels like Astralis are being forced to play Lost One's game, even though the Astralis are the defenders, and really defenders normally mandate where the action happens, what are the main areas of the map to be contested. It feels like Lost One are saying, no, this is where the fight happens and you're going to have to work to us. So it's a real, you know, they're really putting the pressure on them as well and kind of imposing themselves upon Astralis, who have got to find a way back in. They had that time out after the second round, and now they can't adapt to the other issues that have cropped up in the last couple.
Right, it's just holding angles before he goes in. He's actually going to just try and bait somebody out there. He throws in the drone, and he's got it on the advanced deployment, obviously, so he doesn't go straight into it. And it's just an option to keep peeking in there and see if anybody wants to try and rush out and see if there's an opportunity for a quick kill, but nobody will go for it. Halfway through the round then, 5 versus 5 still. We haven't had that opening kill. Lost One have managed to get themselves established inside of the map. I'm not sure they're aware of Iconic flanking up the black stairs though.
Here we go, finds one as well. It's Lobin to go down. What a player to find as well, given his start to this game. Into a second, Astralis finally showing some signs of life. They get the crossing towards box, and Maya almost goes down to about 60 HP here. A shuttle gets another as well. Looks like finally Astralis have woken up. Just a couple more kills to collect and they'll have their first. Great swing comes out. Iconic chose violence here in round 5, and just one remains standing.
Yep, certainly looking like Astralis have got themselves their first round on the board. They really need to follow it up with the second in round 6, and they don't want lost one. A 5-1 going into the defensive half. All they need to find then is one site that they can hold on to, and it'll do the job for them. So a second could be crucial for Astralis on the defence. Maya continues working his way across, going to find himself into drum. Has a little look at the default, sees it's not being watched, so chooses to leave it, and will be challenged immediately in Dragon. Closed out, and that is Astralis getting their first round on Skyscraper.
Yeah, much better here with the way things are playing out. That was a really solid round, especially from Iconic, winning a couple of critical gunfights that it feels he's lost otherwise on the entry. We spoke in those first few rounds about the push through, J90 going down, Iconic going down, just losing out on gunfights to Maya and Lobin. Finally, they get a bit of a response back. It gives them a smidge of breathing room, Tim, but I think they'll still be really disappointed at a potential 4-2 half here, and it isn't even finished. There's still the option for it to become a 5-1 attack in half for Lost One. It is their map pick, absolutely, but it still feels a little bit nerve-wracking if you're an Astralis fan.
It certainly does. In we go to Kitchen and Barbecue then for our final defence for Astralis. They weren't able to hold on to it last time, but it was a 1v1. It was very, very close. And so you feel like maybe they can get this one done if it's going to come down to those sort of margins. And obviously that's their thoughts as well. So they've gone back to the same position. They've got the Frost on side with Shuttle. We've seen a couple of people getting themselves caught up in those bear traps, in those frost mats. So far at the SI, it's easily done, especially when you're going in being challenged by players of this caliber. You want to be guns up, not looking at the ground, so they are easily missed.
Absolutely. Again, we spoke about it earlier on. Capcan traps, frost mats, even goo mines. A number of times they've really given away crucial deaths at the other side. It's been pretty magical and may well still continue. Let's see how things shape up again. Who's bearing the ace this round? No one, because ace seemed to be the lucky pick throughout most of those rounds, to be honest with you, Tim, getting the majority of the kills across them, especially in those first two. Here, though, the hard breacher being dropped away in favour of the Hibana coming in for Rise. He has played that a couple of times so far in the half, but just to double down on potential roamers, that Jackal's here for Maya to help try and sniff this one away.
Iconic going to be working his way around top floor. The Solis has proved to be effective a couple of times. They've managed to pull off a couple of flanks, only securing one round because of it really in that last round. But still, we know how good Iconic can be, so certainly an operator to be watching here. Maya going in, they're being careful.
Just in case.
The frost trap.
I mean, that was definitely droned, but still checked anyway.
As soon as you see the frost, you really do have to double check. It's so easy for something like that to be misdroned. But you can see the effect it has. You know, it might be a second here, a second there, but if that's done 20 times over the round by different players, that's 20 seconds, you know, that hasn't been used.
Really interesting that you got Lobin being the one to drone Maya all the way through the building here, and they have got there a great nade coming out of dots. I think he self-droned that one earlier, actually. Potentially almost a second coming in. Maya just flicks onto the head and finds another. Where are you going? Because you ain't going nowhere. Oh my God. A 3K in the round. Shuttle left standing. Finally gets a little bit of revenge on Maya, but in doing so gives himself away. And here come Lost One. Lobin and Maya are dominating this game.
They're absolutely all over it. Astralis were completely lost at sea there, Des. They had absolutely no idea that Maya was in amongst them. Got a few free kills there and just able to absolutely decimate Astralis. And, you know, I've got a feel for Shuttle a little bit at this point. You know, how many 1vx's is he going to find himself in today?
Maya's just on it as well. These shots that he's landing.
Unreal.
What I love is, coming into this, Lobin said in an interview, you know, you're not ready for me and Maya. He didn't say you're not ready for me or for us, for me and Maya. And that's not him trying to write off the rest of his team, but these two were an absolute terror as an entry duo coming out during the qualifiers. And I feel, really, being honest with you, this is the first game we are seeing them both come up as a pairing, both going absolutely huge. I know Lobin isn't absolutely racked up to the high hilts here on kills, but you cannot ignore the impact that he's had in the rounds where he has got kills, and in that last round was responsible for droning Maya in to collect those 2 or 3. Astralis here go on the attack inside. They're going to have to work a bit of magic if they want to pull this one back. I wouldn't be surprised, truthfully, Tim, if half an eye is turned towards Oregon already.
Yeah, I think you start getting to that point. Obviously, Astralis are going to look at this one round at a time, you know, looking to get themselves just back into things, get a toe in things. But at the minute, you've really got to sort of focus. And I think mentally there is an element where you can write it off a little bit and think, you know, it's not our map pick. Maybe it's not one, you know, that we're huge fans of. So let's just forget about it, and we're going to do the same to them on Oregon. The one thing that I would be concerned about with Oregon is it's a long time staple example of the map pool. I'd put it in there with Clubhouse. You know, it's a map that everybody just needs to be able to play. It's not overly complicated. It's not a huge map. You know, so there's just more of a chance that Lost One are going to have a decent Oregon.
You know, one thing I've always really quietly enjoyed, and this is such a random thing to kind of raise, it's when a thermite opens a wall and you just see the kind of wooden panels on the other side go flying against the far wall. It's a really kind of just like cool effect.
Yeah.
I know it's completely unrelated to esports in every way imaginable. I just enjoy it.
You enjoy it, Des?
I find my little joy in small things, mate.
I'm a
That's why I quite like being around you, because you're so small.
I'm a thermite enjoyer as well, don't worry about it.
Big time thermite enjoyer. Fragmite sometimes, I hear.
#1 fragmite enjoyer, I'll tell you now. Right, here we go. Iconic is established inside of Tea Room at the moment. They're going to be pushing up towards these shield positions in a moment. Spiff manages to find Maya. That is a big kill to get with the way that Maya's going at the minute, but Rise is there for the trade, and that's the ace down. So that is a little bit of hard breach loss. Not the end of the world. Forest does still have one exothermic in pocket. Lobin gets taken down as well. So that's the real sort of hurt makers taken out of things for Lost One here, leaving them in a 2 versus 4 effectively, as Dots will be finished off by Iconic.
Going pretty big here as well. 2K for himself in the round, chasing himself. It's wrap around the roses, and finally they find the kill, but Rice is left all alone here against an onslaught of 3 members on the other side. Tries to find something, but Jane I know is just better. 5-2 Astralis.
Better from Astralis there as soon as they've got themselves onto the attack. A much more convincing round. But as I said, coming out of the first half with 5 rounds to their name, I would have to expect that Lost One are able to find at least one site here. It's their map choice. You know, they must be able to find one site that they can lock down. That is all they need, just to win that one site twice, and it is done. On we go.
On we do go to barbecue and kitchen. Had a real tendency or a desire then to go barbecue. How do you say barbecue?
Barbecue.
It's pretty normal, actually.
Thank you. As is everything I say.
No, it's not.
Until it goes through the Des filter.
The Des filter.
It goes into your brain, and there's like, you know, them like sort of discordant machine sounds, like beep, boop, bap, boop. It goes through that in your head and then comes out completely
Like what?
the other side. So it goes in like laser gates, and then it goes like beep, boop, bap, boop through your head and comes out laser gates, and it just goes through this filter.
I mean, the way you said it the first time round was already pretty filtered.
5 seconds left.
You're an idiot, man. Oh, I love you, Tim. Now you've got the observers doing the noise back to us. Was it beep, boop, bap, boop?
Yeah, it's like that, you know, that computer sound, that like, you know.
Are you remembering computers from the 60s or something, mate?
Oh, no, it's just a TV
Christ,
thing.
it's like the dial-up sound.
It's similar, actually.
That's where you got it from. No one else, I think, under the age of maybe 25 has any idea what you're
There's a
on
load
about.
of boomers out there going, yeah, I know what you mean. Used to be in TV programs.
All right then, Astralis trying to get themselves inside a geisha here as well, 30 seconds into the round. Want to try and really chew through here and force Lost One back. Get them away from this critical position as well, because it can be a real threat out towards Drum, as you're seeing here. And Maya, he's getting a sniff of things already. Sees 2 or 3 drones, sees a couple of electronics coming out there on the other side, and knows where this attack is starting from. And no doubt commands are being embarked across that Lost One roster now to rotate round and be prepared to deal with it.
Dots is going to be taking down drones for fun at the minute. That
3
leaves
left.
only 3
Jesus.
for Astralis a minute into the round, as that is without question a big loss. If Lost One can come up with a gunfight or 2 here, Astralis are going to need some serious help to get this round won. It's not over for them yet. There's plenty of time for, you know, they've got time, they've got everything they need, they've got all the utility. I'm just very concerned about that lack of information, which is now down to 2 drones.
Yes, indeed. Iconic again with the entry, really waking up here as well, coming up to 8 and 5. Almost about... Goal.
Oh, I
Swing.
thought he had it.
Well, it shuttled him.
I really thought that he had that then for free, but no.
Tim,
Managed to turn around. It's 4v4 now.
Bless his soul. Not able to find that one. It does bring things back up to 4 and 4. Still a lot of top floor work being done here by Astralis as well, just to make sure there is no one still lurking on the upstairs. And I believe they're correct. I'm pretty sure everyone else on Lost One has either dipped out towards the east side of the map or is downstairs on the site. C4 comes out towards Forest, doesn't quite finish him off. And there you go, you can see those blue outlines on the top floor upstairs. Two of them, in fact, scattered quite far across, and now Dash is coming up on the flank. Are they even aware of this? Oh, drops the hat just in time, but there's a frost mat waiting. It's a trade coming in. A second one for Rise, though, gives the numbers advantage over to Lost One.
45 seconds left to go. Forest is seriously low health here. Does have himself inside a sight, though, and can potentially try for a plant, but he's just very aware of that verticality up above him. He's just going to hold on to that angle for the time being. I think Lost One are happy to wait here. Maya comes down the stairs. Could it be that man again? Gets one, gets two, closes out the round, and Maya delivering in almost every single round for Lost One.
I haven't seen this animated before as well. I mean, even normally when the team are winning, he's a little bit more subdued, but here you're really seeing him wake up. Astralis, on the other hand, Tim, they know there's still a long way to climb here as well. 6-2, they find themselves down again. One eye probably already turned on towards Oregon. But as we always say, you can only play the round that is in front of you. Karaoke and Tea coming up next for Lost One.
You've always got to think as well about sort of the longevity of, you know, your positive mentality. And I think Astralis are a very positive team. You know, I'm not suggesting that this is going to be affecting them too much. But ultimately, if you have to lose a map going into the second map, would you rather lose it 7-2 or would you rather lose it 8-7?
Yeah.
You know, at least if you've been super competitive in there, it's been hard fought, you can write it off a little bit. You know, but this is a beating. There's no other way of putting it at the minute. Astralis really struggling to get anything going. And, you know, it could be the case for them continuing into the second map.
I like this setup. I've seen something like it, but I haven't seen the castle barricade coming onto the Geisha box is a new one. Normally it's still kept open as a form of, you know, rotate back out to join the rest of the team. I'm a little bit concerned that their only way out of Geisha here is straight into the waiting arms of Drum. So as soon as they lose Drum control, no one can play it. Thank you very much for pointing it out. The hatch is indeed open.
The hatch is open.
They have the ability to drop.
There is a rotate to the Black Corridor as well, where they've opened up the line of sight towards Black Stairs. They've opened it up vertically above so that you can hop through. They have made...
Yeah, that's what I mean, but their only way out is there to get out of Geisha on that same level, which puts you straight into a vault animation locked in towards Drum, and you'll die for it, is my concern. Otherwise, yes, you're dropping the hatch, and if Astralis get a good read into that, it's going to be real scary dropping straight inside of there. Lobin getting cheeky and iconic. I think took the right approach there, getting on his drone early on. Lobin backs away, ready to take a second firefight if it calls.
Yeah, fortunately for Iconic, he'd gone to the crouch position. Otherwise, his head might just have been showing there. He's actually going to dip away. He doesn't want to go straight into that fight, and you can't blame him. If he knows that Lobin's just inside of there, you know that you're going to be playing into their crosshairs. So a minute gone so far, and we don't have anybody inside of the map from Astralis just yet.
We don't. Still sniffing things out, I think, and trying to figure out exactly how to break this down, because, again, it's the first time I've seen it. I wouldn't be surprised if it's their first time coming across a setup like this as well. Like, even this is a little bit strange as well. Right at the top of the stairs, a crouch hole coming through with a mirror window in front of it, plus this little... I want to say weird, but it's quite cool, actually. The setup inside of Geisha as well. You know, even if they get control of Geisha themselves, they're going to have to get in there and destroy away the castle barricades that are there, which means going through those breaching charges, which they've got 9 of them, in fact, as well. So they have come ready to deal with it, but it's still one of those you have to slowly unravel step by step.
It certainly is. Iconic is trying to take that first step, pushing forward, not going to find anybody at the moment. Needs to be cautious, of course, because, of course, the Solace will pick up if using the Hell Presence Reduction device, the electronic signal. Look at that from Shuttle. Nice. Beautiful headshot through onto Dash. A great entry for Astralis there. Of course, there's no more mistakes for them left. They've got to win 4 rounds in a row now if they want to continue here on Skyscraper, and that, at least, is a good start towards doing so.
Got rid of one of the mirror windows from below, making use of that soft flooring. The one that's inside of here is still closed up nice and tight. Trying to get nades in from below, I think, but they are now out of nades. All 4 consumed. It doesn't stop Spit, though. Gunning through a player. Maya gets the trade back on the other side. Up to 12-4. What a game he's having so far, as we've said now already quite a few times. Iconic being taken down by Rise as well. There's one at top Black. It's a 3v2. But here comes the slaughter. Maya finds one. Lucky not to find a second there as well. 2v2.
Maya's at this point potentially just going to completely shut them down at the top of Black Stairs. They've had no answer to him. He's been using multiple angles. Nobody can stop him right now. Maya the Machine takes down Forest and leaves us in a 2 versus 1. It's all over, and it's that man once again. Maya the Machine just keeps on crushing everyone in front of him, and that is Lost One taking map 1 in rapid time.
The Machine or the Menace? We'll leave you guys to decide. What a showing from Maya and from Lost One. Crushing Astralis in their first map. Yep.